Concepts and terms related to gender.
Sex and gender.
The World Health Organization summarizes the difference between sex and gender in the following way. Sex refers to the different biological and physiological characteristics of males and females, such as reproductive organs, chromosomes, hormones, etc. Gender refers to the socially constructed characteristics of women and men, such as norms, roles and relationships of and between groups of women and men. It varies from society to society and can be changed. Sex refers to biological differences between males and females, example, gonads, sexual organs, chromosomes, hormones. Sex is usually assigned at birth. There are examples when it is assigned later, when sex characteristics do not clearly indicate the sex of the baby, for example in the case of intersex people. Sex can be changed. In the case of transsexual people, who are born with the sex characteristics of one sex and gender identity of the other, sex reassignment surgeries are performed. This includes a change of sex organs and the administration of hormones. Gender is a social, psychological and cultural construct, and it is developed in the process of socialization. Different societies and cultures may therefore have different understandings of what is masculine or feminine. Societies create norms and expectations related to gender, and these are learned in the course of people's lives, including in the family, at school, through the media. Gender is both an analytical category, a way of thinking about how identities are constructed, and a political idea which addresses the distribution of power in society. Gender norms are learned and internalized by all members of society. Gender norms vary across different cultures and over time. Traditional gender norms are hierarchical. They presuppose an unequal power structure related to gender that disadvantages mostly women. Gender is not necessarily defined by biological sex. Gender is more about identity and how we feel about ourselves. People may self-identify as male, female, transgender, other or none. People that do not identify as male or female are often grouped under the umbrella terms, non-binary, or genderqueer. Sexuality. Sexuality is someone's ability to experience or show sexual feelings. Sexuality is about our sexual feelings, thoughts, attractions and behaviors towards other people. We can find other people physically, sexually or emotionally attractive, and all those things are a part of our sexuality. Sexuality is diverse and personal, and it is an important part of who we are. Discovering your sexuality can be a very liberating, exciting and positive experience. Some people experience discrimination due to their sexuality. Different types of sexuality: heterosexual and homosexual. Most people are attracted to the opposite sex, boys who like girls, and women who like men, for example. These people are heterosexual, or straight. Some people are attracted to the same sex. These people are homosexual. Lesbian is the common term for people who identify as women and are same-sex attracted. Gay is the most common term for people who identify as men and are same-sex attracted, although women identifying as lesbian also sometimes use this word. Bisexual. Some people are attracted to both men and women, and are known as bisexual. Asexual. A person who identifies as asexual, ace, for short, is someone who does not experience, or experiences very little, sexual attraction. Transgender. The term, transgender, describes a person whose gender identity or expression is different than their sex assigned at birth. Queer or questioning. It is often considered an umbrella term for anyone who is non-cisgender or heterosexual. Questioning refers to people who may be unsure of their sexual orientation or gender identity. Intersex. Individuals who are born with variations of sex characteristics that do not fit with binary definitions of male or female bodies. Plus. The plus is used to signify all of the gender identities and sexual orientations that are not specifically covered by the other 5 initials. An example is two-spirit, a pan-indigenous American identity. LGBTQIA+. It stands for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, or questioning, intersex, asexual, and others. The plus represents other sexual identities, including pansexual and two-spirit. Pansexuality is the romantic, emotional, and/or sexual attraction to people regardless of their gender. Pansexual people may be attracted to some people and not others, but the gender of the person does not matter. Native American two-spirit people were male, female, and sometimes intersexed individuals combined activities of both men and women with traits. They were considered neither men nor women. They occupied a distinct, alternative gender status. Patriarchy. The term, patriarchy, first gained prominence in feminist scholarship in the 1960s and 1970s, when feminists developed the notion of gender roles and gender relations as categories of analysis. Gender as an analytic category is conceived of as distinct and separate from biological sex and as a concept that could undermine the claims of sexual differences between men and women in Western society. Gendered behaviors, expectations, practices, and roles are seen as reflective of social and cultural processes and are not biological givens. Patriarchy is a social system in which positions of dominance and privilege are primarily held by men. Patriarchy comes from a Greek word meaning, rule by fathers. Societal roles are reserved for men, while women are excluded from achieving parity with men. It is a system of relationships, beliefs, and values embedded in political, social, and economic systems that structure gender inequality between men and women. Attributes seen as feminine or pertaining to women are undervalued, while attributes regarded as masculine or pertaining to men are privileged. Masculinity. Masculinity is a set of attributes, behaviors, and roles associated with men and boys. Masculinities are social constructs. Masculinities refer to the social roles, behaviors, and meanings prescribed for men in any society at any time. Males need to be powerful, strong, and efficacious. The sporting context is one of the main forums. Masculinities include athletic strength and superiority, competitiveness, toughness, endurance, leadership, status, power, and authority. Masculinity equals social expectations of being a man. Masculinity is constructed and defined socially, historically and politically, rather than being biologically driven. Feminism. Feminism is a range of socio-political movements and ideologies that aim to define and establish the political, economic, personal, and social equality of the sexes. Feminism goes beyond basic rights, however, and seeks deeper cultural shifts like an end to sexism and intersectional oppression based on gender, race, sexuality, and class. Feminism is the belief that women deserve equal social, economic, and political rights and freedoms. It has focused on issues like the right to vote, reproductive and sexual freedom, and equal pay. It has also explored racism, gender norms, self-expression, etc. Feminism. 3 main types. The 3 main types are liberal feminism, radical feminism, socialist feminism. Liberal feminism focuses on political rights and equality in education and the workplace. That includes issues like equal access to education, equal pay, safer working conditions, and an end to job segregation based on sex. It is also concerned with private life as the distribution of unpaid work at home impacts a woman's ability to participate in public life. Radical feminism is more aggressive. It focuses on dismantling the patriarchy and traditional gender roles by ensuring reproductive rights, critiquing the nuclear family and motherhood, and challenging institutional power. Rather than trying to change things through established systems, radical feminists are more inclined to change the systems themselves. Today, radical feminism is often linked to trans-exclusionary radical feminism, which denies that trans women are real women. The term TERF originated in the 1970s when radical feminists began to split over support of trans women. Socialist feminism is a belief that aims to liberate women from how they are taken as inferior individuals compared to men and allow them to access equal rights. This also entails gaining access to opportunities either in social, economic, or political structures. Socialist feminists draw attention to how patriarchy and racism are systematically oppressive structures that create structural gendered inequalities for women and gender-variant individuals. According to them, capitalism is the reason behind all these oppressive structures.